Novel On an Island with a Bad Woman. Chapter 1: My Long-Legged Sister. I lived in an extremely biased family. My sister studied for her college entrance examination every night, while I was forced to do household chores. I even had to do the laundry for the family, including my sister's lingerie, just so that it didn't take up her precious time, although I was in my senior year, too. Sometimes, when I delayed the household chores in favor of studying, I would be dressed down severely. All this stemmed from the fact that I was adopted. My parents passed away in a car accident, and there was no other relative in my family. Matthew Yates was my father's comrade in arms, and he took me home to raise me. He was very good to me, but Melody Ziegler and Rosalie Yates detested me, the latter in particular. Melody was his deceased wife's best friend who helped to manage the family's finances. She claimed that she wanted to help her best friend raise her daughter, but I knew full well that she wanted to marry Matthew because he was rather well-to-do. Rosalie, on the other hand, was his daughter. She'd been picking on me ever since the day Matthew brought me home, so Melody joined hands with her in bullying me. We were in the same class, but she always disparaged me before our classmates, asserting that I was a useless person who sponged off her family. I only had new clothes during New Year, yet she also told our classmates that it was her father who bought me clothes. Then, she'd spit on my clothes and even doodle on them with a ballpoint pen, declaring that it was her father who paid for them, so she could do anything she wanted to them. Thus, I was tantamount to her dog in class, and many classmates scorned me because of this. However, I still worked exceedingly hard because my greatest dream was to leave this place and have my own life. Hence, I often stayed up late and studied hard. In the end, my results even surpassed Rosalie's. Overjoyed, Matthew gave me $2,000 as a reward. It just so happened that our class was organizing a graduation trip out to sea on a yacht. I wanted to go as well since I had a few close friends in class. I wouldn't be coming back anymore after attending college, so I wanted to have some beautiful memories with them. The night before we set out, I took water to wash Rosalie and Melody's feet as usual. This was something I'd been coerced into doing all these years. Matthew was often away due to work, so they took the opportunity to bully me. They were both beauties, always wearing super short spaghetti strap nightgowns that had their long and slender legs on display. Others thought that they loved being sexy at home, but I knew that it was for photography purposes. They were internet celebrities on TikTok with tons of fans, for they attracted them with sexual appeal. Both of them were B*****, but I dared not say anything to Matthew since I didn't want him to be caught in a family conflict. As I washed Rosalie's feet, she casually lifted a leg and placed it onto my shoulder after I'd washed it. She then wiped her leg on my shoulder and against my chest, soiling my clothes without a care as to how short her dress was. Nevertheless, I dared not steal a peek because I knew that they would gouge my eyes out. After all, in their eyes, I didn't even have the right to look at them. At this time, they were talking about the yachting trip tomorrow, growing increasingly excited as they spoke. Out of the blue, Melody ordered me, "Stay home tomorrow and keep an eye on things at home." Upon hearing that, I panicked. Didn't Uncle Matthew give you an extra 2 grand and say to take me along? Rosalie, however, denied that vehemently. When did he do that? If you want to go, you've got to pay your own way. Don't use my father's money. I know he gave you 2 grand as a reward. What be asterisk chiz? Well, this is exactly what I'd expected in the first place. All of a sudden, Melody whipped out her tank top and hot pants. I bought you new clothes, darling. They the branded stuff you want and cost exactly 2 grand. My temper spiked when I heard this. That was my money. I lifted my head to look at the clothes, only to be greeted by the sight of her stretching out her legs, revealing the mature purple panties that were semi-translucent underneath her super short dress. I was so caught up that she caught me staring and abruptly slammed her leg into my face, rubbing her feet against my face as she snarled in repulsion. You hideous beast! Did you think you were worthy of staring at me? A toad like you doesn't even deserve to peek at my panties. Profound humiliation stung me. Yes, I am a hideous beast. My face is littered with acne scars, rendering me a gruesome sight. However, that's because you never bought me any facial cleanser or facial soap. At times, I don't even have a bar of soap and am forced to resort to using detergent to shower. Could I be anything other than a hideous beast when I've been living such a life? Suppressing my tears, I continued washing their feet. Yet they still chatted and laughed without a care for me. After I was done washing their feet, I took out the 2 grand Matthew gave me, snatching it away in a fell swoop. Rosalie exclaimed, "What a shameless leech! How brazen that you even wanted to use my father's money to go on a trip, considering the fact that your money had bought me new clothes. I'll spare you today." She then happily left with Melody. Meanwhile, my hands clenched into fists as hatred filled my heart. Her new clothes were still on the sofa. A set of extremely sexy tank top and short pants that would definitely thrust her into the limelight during the yachting trip. These were bought with my money. All at once, I remembered that she'd be performing a jazz dance before our entire class tomorrow. Anger suffusing me, I picked up a pair of scissors and snipped off the threads, leaving just a tiny bit. As long as her movements tomorrow are vigorous enough, the pants will split open, embarrassing her for certain before the entire class. This is my revenge. After doing this, I pushed down the aggravation within me and went to bed. The next morning, I had to wake up early and help them pack their luggage. They sashayed out the house enchantingly, turning heads, while the hideous me was only worthy of lugging their bags behind them. When we arrived at the dock, our classmates were already there. Everyone then boarded the yacht, one after another. I wanted to greet my friends, but I still had to help Melody and Rosalie unpack. While unpacking, a bout of dizziness and nausea assailed me. It turns out that I am seasick. What a pity when I haven't even gotten to enjoy myself. Enduring the nausea and unpacking everything, I then lay down on my own bed and dozed off. While I was sleeping groggily, I suddenly felt the yacht swaying badly, and out of the blue, someone slapped me. I opened my eyes, only to see that Rosalie was in my room. "Go and get me the medication for seasickness. This yacht is swaying badly," she demanded. To which I replied weakly that I didn't feel like moving since I, too, was having seasickness. You hideous beast, I said to go and get it. So just do it. Incensed, she lifted her leg and stamped it on my face. Feeble from seasickness, she got the drop on me. All of a sudden, her hot pants split with a ripping sound and fell to the ground, baring her creamy and flawless skin. My eyes were riveted. While she is an extremely detestable person, she is truly beautiful. F***CKU. Noticing that the threads had been snipped, Rosalie glared at me loathingly. Was it your doing? You ray so damn disgusting. You hideous beast and orphan bee **starred. She lifted her leg to kick me even as she clutched her pants. But the yacht swayed so badly that she lost her balance. Bang! Suddenly, the yacht capsized, and the windows shattered. Icy cold seawater profusely rushed into the room, threatening to drown us in the blink of an eye. Scrambling up in terror, I grabbed onto the railing beside the bed. Rosalie, however, was submerged in the water, and even her hot pants had been washed away by the current. Help! Panicked, she abruptly clamped her long legs around my waist and wrapped her arms around my neck, shouting, "Help! Save me!" Welcome to download the Bravonovel app to read the novel On an Island with a Bad Woman online and get the latest updates.